All right, what's up, YouTube? Bismath here. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I have Carietha here, where we'll talk about her closing her first deal. We'll break down, how she found this lead, how much she made, and everything like that. So if you all find any value in this video, or if you relate to her story, be sure to like this video, subscribe, and comment down below. And, this video will be kind of like a podcast style. So if you're on your way to work, you can listen to it on the background, or if you're cooking or cleaning, that's something that you can do. So you all can learn different ways and how different wholesalers are closing their first deal around this country. So without further ado, let's talk to and welcome you to Carietha. Carietha, how are you doing today?
Awesome, awesome, Matt. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. Yeah, first I just want to start off by asking, you, and I know a lot of my audience will want to know, how did you first learn about wholesaling? How did you first, get started into this business?
Okay, well, I was originally working for Atlanta Police Department in their 911 communication center.
Hmm.
I had did that about a year, and then I was a subcontractor for Google under a company called G4S. And so I battled with sickle cell. So it was like I kept like at the toughest time, it's like I just kept getting these flare ups and things like that, and then the job, in 911, it could get really aggravating and frustrating. And then you sick on top of that. So it was like, oh my gosh. So one particular day I called out and I was in bed and I was on YouTube trying to figure out like a little side hustle to do. And so I saw a commercial about ATM business. So I said, okay, well, I'll just watch a whole bunch of videos on the ATM, how to get started, and doing the little clips, what you call those, the commercials that come on in between,
Right, right.
was like get into real estate with no money. So I was
Mm,
like, So I'm listening to all these people, their little testimonies. I was like, okay, let me get into that. So that's how I
mm-hmm.
got started.
Got you. Okay, so I guess you were working your job, and I guess because of health issues and different things like that, you were looking for a way that you can be your own boss, that
Yes.
you can establish your own business. And so I guess like a lot of people, you kind of went down the YouTube rabbit hole of learning different, entrepreneur stuff that
That's
you can
correct.
do
Yes, sir.
at home. Yeah, and I learned about ATM, businesses before too. Like, I seen those videos. So I guess while watching those videos, you say you saw like a mid-roll ad about
Yes.
wholesaling. Got you. Okay. And so you started, I guess, just watching different channels um,
Yes.
on YouTube. So where were the channels? Because there's some big ones, there's
Oh
different
yeah, most
channels. So
definitely. So I had Jamel Gibbs,
okay.
Brent Daniels,
Mm-hmm. Of
Max Maxwell,
course.
um, Zach, and Zach and his dad, Flip Rick.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. So it was a whole bunch because
A
it was
whole bunch.
like I wanted to really get started, but these courses are like super expensive.
Yeah.
Like some I saw one for like 10 grand.
Oh,
So I was like, oh
mercy.
no, I'm not doing that when everything is on like YouTube for free.
Right, right.
I'll just binge watch YouTube and get everything there.
That's true. YouTube University for real. And so, how did you come across, I guess, my content? Was it like my Instagram or just YouTube?
Yeah, so it was on Instagram. I was just looking up just different wholesalers and how, I guess they marketing techniques and, just inspiration. Sometimes you just need that inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
And I found you on Instagram. I was looking up Max Maxwell, and I saw
Mm.
that you liked it. And then it had a real estate logo by. So like, let me check this guy out, and then I reached out to you.
Hey, let's go. Yeah, that's crazy because most people actually, they come to my content through YouTube and then Instagram. So it's funny. Yeah, I know I have to work a little bit more on like other social platforms, but it's good to know that I'm still attracting people from Instagram. Okay. And so I guess even before that, did you always feel like you had a entrepreneur mindset, even from a younger age or anything like that, or you always want to be your own boss?
Oh yes, always. I
Hmm.
mean, even all my jobs that I've always obtained, I've always got into a manager position like maybe 1 or 2 years from this time of starting. So I
Okay.
just have that skill.
Got you, got you. Yeah. And I noticed on your Instagram, it's like, is it like a fitness Instagram? So you,
Oh
so
yeah,
you,
that's what
yeah.
happened. So initially I was heavy into fitness.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I have sickle cell all my life.
Mm-hmm.
And just these 5 years, it took a turn. So I need like a bone marrow transplant.
Mm,
And so now I'm taking treatments that consist of, different medication. And so it's steroids and everything. So like I said, when you look at my transformation on my CMO Fit page,
mm-hmm. Right, right,
you see
right.
this thin girl with muscles and stuff to now. And so I just kind of like, you know, what you call it? I am, what's the word I'm looking for? I am, just
Yeah.
beginning,
Right.
working where I am today.
Right.
I focus
Exactly.
on the past. So all I could do is work on today.
Right, right, right. Exactly. And that's something you honestly can't control. I mean, because, you needed those medications,
Right.
that surgery and whatnot. So totally understand. But yeah, I mean, it's still pretty cool that,
Right.
you're into fitness and everything like that.
Yes.
But yeah, so let's start talking about, when you first started, actually putting the work towards wholesaling. So let's say, you've been watching these videos.
Mhm.
When would you say you started actually taking action in wholesaling?
Okay, I would say that would be April, the end of
April
April
2020.
2020. That's correct.
Okay, okay. And what were some of the first things you did in
So I say from April 2020 to I say about June
hmm
is when that's when I went, YouTube crazy, just watching a whole bunch of things. And
hmm
then I'm a person, I'm a go-getter. I don't have that analysis paralysis that people talk about. I'm like, I have to learn from my mistakes. So I'm just gonna go out and do it.
That's really
And
good.
so there's a guy that's on um, Google. His name is Joe Wholesale Toolbox. I believe that's the name of his website. And he has all the contracts that you need for this business. And
hmm
so I was like, okay, I got my contracts, I have my scripts, and I'm a people's person. Let's take some action. So
hmm Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, and yeah, I that was one of the first persons I found on Google too. And like my contract is heavily inspired by his contract. I even mentioned that in my contract video. But yeah, he has a lot of good resources. Okay. And another thing that's really important for people to hear and understand that you didn't have that analysis paralysis like you were saying, like a lot of people have. And that is just very important just to go out there, learn from your mistakes, take action, like you were saying. Okay, and so let's start getting into your first deal. Um, so when did you start marketing this deal?
okay. Well, I didn't really necessarily start off as marketing.
hmm
Um, I started off with tax delinquents first, and I would just handwrite a whole bunch of yellow letters.
Wow.
Yes, and then one day, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I mean the video kind of is
Do you hear my
paused.
phone ringing also?
Yeah, I hear the phone ringing.
Do you want me to pause? I'm sorry.
It's all good. Let me pause it.
I'll wait till I just finish.
Right. Okay, so yeah, so you said you were marketing to, I guess, tax delinquent, handwriting yellow letters to them?
Because again, I wanted to do this thing for free, yet I still had to pay for stamps. So at this point, the only cost that was coming in was stamps, and
Mm,
of course the envelopes.
hmm
And so I just said, you know what? I hear people say this driving for dollars. They let me go check it out.
hmm
So it's funny because I was just driving down the road, and I literally saw a house like literally 10 minutes away from my house. It was just looked distressed. They needed help.
Wow,
So
that's
I said,
crazy.
yeah.
And so, okay, and what did you do after that?
Okay, so yeah, so I went on the tax assessor site, look up the
hmm
person's information. And then again, I didn't have any money. So I
mm
did the normal, put the person's name in, just Google. That's it. I didn't put in the website. I just put the person's name in and the address that I had.
hmm
And free people came up, true people, been verified, all these people. So I just wrote down all these phone numbers, every
Right, just
last one,
all of them. You just tried
every
all of
last
them.
one. Yes. And I just started calling one, and then I called the right one and asked her if this was her. She's like, "Who is this? How did you get my number?" And I was like, "I got you."
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's pretty cool. And yeah, I love hearing stories like this where, it didn't take a lot of upfront costs to contact the seller and different things like that. Like you used the different free resources in your, realm to really find and contact the seller. So, okay. And so you did some driving for dollars, or, you found this property, you contacted the owner. How did the conversation go? Basically, what what was the seller, what was the situation with the property and different things
Okay.
like that?
The seller was located out of state.
Okay.
She had tenants in the house. So to break the ice, I called her, was like, hey, I'm such and such, and she was like, who is this? How did you get my number? I told her, I found it on the internet. Yeah, that was
Mm-hmm.
cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And she's like, well, what do you want? And so I asked her about a property, she's like, well, it's tenant occupied, it's too much going on. The tenant's not paying rent. I don't know. I can't get in touch with my property manager. It's just too much going on. So based on that, I would just let her talk and just listening to the problem that she had. And then while she's talking, I'm trying to analyze a solution.
Mm.
So she's telling me property manager, she can't get in touch with anybody from the property. So I'm like, okay, I live 10 minutes away. Let me see what I can do. So it was like, okay, well, I understand that you have these issues. I said, do you mind if I help you? I said, I promise you, I stay literally 10 minutes away. I can, try to see what's going on with this property for you. So I did that. I took a whole bunch of pictures of the house so that she could see how her house looked. And apparently the property manager was the person that was do the upkeep on the property. And he was telling her that he was getting everything fixed up. But when I sent the pictures of that date, he basically lied. Nothing was
Wow.
fixed. So yeah. So it was just a whole bunch of issues. The tenants wasn't even there. So I just like, hey, you know what? I said, let me resolve your tenant and your property management issue, and then from there we'll go about we'll start the process of the selling of your home. And so she agreed to that.
Okay, okay, got you. So essentially this was a out-of-state landlord, and she had some tenants, so she was kind of a little bit of like of a tired landlord type of person. She had issues, she had condition problems with the property, um, and it seemed like the property manager was lying to her about the different repairs that they were doing on the property and different things like that. Okay, and I like that you told her, hey, I'm nearby, I can help out, and that's very important, just to offer just how much you can help the seller, not necessarily talking about numbers right away, but hey, let me see what I can do for you in this situation. Okay, and so I guess after you sent her the photos and different things like that, you could sense more and more motivation from her to sell the property. What was, I guess, what would you tie down her motivation to selling the property?
Really, she was just sick of the property, and then also the cost of it, because I guess the previous tenant she had in there, they flooded her house out. And
Wow.
so that's what she paid the property manager to do, because he was, I guess, like a construction worker to handle this. So she was like just putting out money and then not receiving any money from rent.
Right. Okay. Got you. Yeah. I mean, it seemed like this guy kind of scammed her a little bit for sure.
Exactly. And on top of that, I think she was already dealing with not trusting people,
Mm,
because it was like, she had previous tenants in it that, she tried to help and she lowered their rent. Then she brought tenants in there, that said that they will help her with the rent. And so it's like basically everybody who she tried to help, they was lying to her and stuff. So I really, really had to show her that she can trust me. So I would call her every day, let her know what
mm.
I've done. And so just to build that rapport, to let her know, hey, it's gonna be all right. We're gonna make this work.
Right, right, right. That's good. That's good that you established that trust with her and you just built that rapport of saying, hey, you could trust me. And not only by saying it, by just by your actions too, what you did and different things like that. So when did you first contact the seller?
So we completed the deal in November. So
Yeah.
I would say August
August. Okay.
2020. Yeah.
August, September, October. So about 3 to 4 months
Mhm.
of follow-up and different things. Okay. And so were the tenants, so you said, were the tenants living in the property?
Technically, so what I would do is I would drive by there every day, and there was
Uh-huh.
always this one vehicle in the yard, but it just looked like nothing was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the neighbors happened to walk in the neighborhood, and I asked them, I said, "Hey, is anybody living in here?" And it was like nobody has been in that house for a couple months now. But every
Wow.
now and then a van would show up. I'm assuming that was the property manager, and
Wow.
so
Mm-hmm.
that's where I went from there.
Got you. Okay. All right. So we see that the condition of the property, was pretty rough. You know, the seller, their motivation was they didn't want to deal with the upkeep and just, the tenants and different things like that. When did you actually get a chance to actually go inside the property?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, and that's when you
So
took the
this
photos
is
and
how
sent.
I knew that she trusted me at this point, because
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I said, I was just following up with her, and she wasn't replying to my message because I was responding through text messages and calling her, but she was not replying. But I just kept doing everything, and I was like, "Hey, I'm trying to get in contact with. I believe the tenants moved out, so I want to go ahead and move further, see what's going on." And she sent me a text. She was like, "Send me your mailing address because I'm going to send you a set of keys." I
Mm.
was like, okay, I got her. She trusts me now.
Right, right, right. Okay. And so you went inside the property
It
and
was, oh my gosh, it was horrible. Like, yeah, it was really, really bad. They punched holes in the wall. They messed up the electricity. It was mold everywhere. It was really, really bad.
dang, so water damage, needing updating, different things like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
and they
Ho-
had, vandalized. This basically vandalized the property.
Okay. How about the structure of the property, like the foundation or
That
the
was fine.
roof? Okay. Okay. And so what year would you say this house was built?
1978.
1978. Okay, got you. And so, all right, so you got the property. And I mean, you looked at the property and different things like that. Now let's talk about, I guess, talking more and more about, the numbers of it. So when you were calculating, your offer price and different things like that, how did you go about that? What was the market value? What would
Okay.
you estimate the
So
repairs to
again, I
be?
had to watch a whole bunch of YouTube videos on the ARVs. This is to make sure that I understood that correctly.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess it was a blessing that the house literally like next door to the property was just finished.
Mm,
And it has sold. So it sold for 169,000. And it was the same thing. It was a 4.2, 1,600 square foot, same year built, 1978. So it was a absolute comp.
right, exact copy. That's crazy. So okay, so you estimate the ARV around 169.
Mhm.
Okay. And so how about the repairs? I know it's always difficult for beginners to, estimate repairs, but
Jerry Norton, everybody
mhm.
know Jerry.
Right, right, right.
Jerry Norton has this formula that he uses that I downloaded. So when I'm on the phone with a seller, I can look at it specifically to try to get the estimated repairs. But he has it broken down from light, medium, and heavy.
Hmm.
And then he has the square footage, and then he has the price per square footage. So
Mm.
I know that this house was going to be mainly around that full gut because, like I
Hmm.
said, it was destroyed. So
Mm.
I would say about 60,000, 65,000.
60,000.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. So 60,000 worth of repairs, ARV around 168, 169, 170. So knowing that, how did you approach the seller with submitting your offer? How did that go? Did she give you a number first? You gave her a number first? How did that work?
Yeah. Well, like I said, that this deal was much before me because she was like, after I took care of everything, oh yeah, one side note.
Hmm.
So when I went inside the property, the tenants had left all their stuff in there. So it was like people, it looked like they still lived there. So I told her, let me clean the house out, let me board the house up. So basically, I was adding all these expenses that way to get that cost down for when I do give her an offer price. So
Hmm.
that kind of helped too.
Mm.
And then I also wanted to go through the legal proceedings with her just to make sure even that they wouldn't come back, that we'll still have paperwork saying that these people were evicted from the property. So I
Mm.
told her that I would take care of all of that. So I think
Mm.
in all, I think I probably spent around 400,
Hmm.
four
Hmm.
hundred dollars And so when it was time for us to discuss price, she just came out with it. She was like, I'm not taking no less than 95.
Wow.
95,000. She's like, I don't been through so much with this property. I'm not taking it. I was like, okay, well. And a lot of them say when you hear that it's a good number, you don't react. Oh yeah, okay, that's a good number.
Right.
I was like, okay, well, trying to play it cool, but in the inside, I'm bursting. But she was like, so I was like, yes, ma'am, I completely understand. So I said, well, let's do it. Let me get you under contract for the 95.
95. Okay. Got you. So, all right. And I think it's important too that you establish that trust by your actions, by clearing out the property, making sure the legal work is good. And so when you say clear out the property, I mean, did you do it yourself or you hire like a company to clear out?
I hired a company.
Yeah, right. Of course, of course. All right. And so you said with that, it was around $400.
Mhm.
Okay. And in the legal work you were talking about, what
That was
exactly did you
only
do?
$100. You have to file the what you call it, a writ, well, a
Okay.
dispossession with when they have to evict. So that was like 95, and
Okay.
then that was the processing fee, and then additional 50 for when the sheriff department come out and serve the writ on the
Okay.
property. So,
Okay. So they did all that.
mhm.
And so all the legal paperwork was good. Okay. Got you. So you put it under contract at 95,000. And so how long did you have that contract for? Was it like 30 days, 40
So
days?
what I did was I had it because again, this is my first deal. So
Mm-hmm.
I try to get her for a 20-day inspection with a 30-day closing date.
Mm-hmm.
Um, at this point, at first on the phone, she was like, okay, that's fine. But I guess just so she can be okay, she hired an attorney where she lived at in out of state just to get a second opinion.
Oh
And that
wow.
attorney was like, well, if she's a cash buyer, she don't need all this time, da, 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 da. So I went from 20 to 15. And then
Okay.
the attorney actually called me and said, hey, this is not going to work. We need to be
Oh.
down at least 10 days. I said, well, ma'am, you know, COVID is going on. You know, it's not
Right.
easy to, people to trust people to, be with the contractors and appraisals and everything like that. So I would still have to, I said, because I'm going through a hard money lender
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to see, they still have to send somebody out to do an appraisal. So, and then you have to, it's COVID, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, okay, well, I'll give you, 12 days. And so that's what she did.
Okay. So you had 12 days inspection.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. And then you had an extra 30 days to close after that,
No, no, no.
or
That 30
just
days.
12,
Mhm.
12 days total? Got
That's
you.
mhm.
Okay. And so you started having 12 days, how did you find your cash buyer? How much were you marketing the contract for?
So at first, like, so I basically got what I wanted. So I
Mm-hmm.
started, what was it? 17. I think I got it 126, if I'm not mistaken. That's why I started at 126. So
Marketing the
that's
contract
correct.
for.
And then I heard, I had already started signing up on these Facebook groups and stuff like that, and I would see how people would post their deals, and then I also see how other people would steal their deals. But I was like, hey, I just saw that from somebody, and I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that because this is my first time. I didn't want to do it. So I went to a bigger pockets, signed up for theirs and posted my deal there, and everybody just started calling. It was crazy.
Wow, that's crazy. So you were marketing it at 126, you said.
That's correct.
Okay, got you. And so people started calling you from, I guess, that bigger pockets forum or whatnot. And so, how did it go with like appointments for buyers viewing your
Yeah. So what
property
I
or?
did was I created a link where people can sign up because I wanted to follow the COVID restriction
Mhm.
that we have here in Georgia. And so yeah, so that's basically how it went. And then so I would tell them to wear their mask and something extra because the house did have mold in it. So it was
Mm,
mold everywhere. And so a lot of them tried it, try to, said 79,000, 69,000. It's like, nah, we're not doing
mhm,
that.
mhm, mhm,
I know what
mhm,
I have,
mhm,
and then I had like maybe 4 buyers that came and was like, okay, let's do this like today. I'm ready. So
mhm. Okay, so you had some interested cash buyers, and what were some of their offers?
So I had one, it started at 115,
Mm-hmm.
117, one was like 127, and then one said 135. But
Mm-hmm.
however, the four, like I said, the four top buyers, I gave them the closing attorney information, the wiring information. They had up until 24 hours to get $2,500 in EMD down to that account, and then that's who I was going. That's how I ruled them out who was serious or not.
Okay, got you. And so, um, I guess whoever did that first got the deal.
That's correct. So
Uh,
that the one who did it for his offer came in at 120. But
okay.
even I told you I wanted the 124.
o-
What 120, 125, I can't remember. I think it was 124. And
Okay.
so I got him as like, look, this is where I need to be at. This is where I want to be. And he brought it up there.
So
I had to do an
124, you said.
124. That's correct. So I had to
Okay.
do an addendum on his contract.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Got you. And so this was just a straight assignment.
That is correct.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Got you. So you put him under contract at 124,
Mhm.
and you had the property under contract at 195.
And now,
Okay. Got you. And so you sent that to your title company or your closing attorney.
and so
Um,
even with them, that was even because again, as a newbie, all I did was went on Facebook and say, hey, can anybody recommend a wholesaler friendly
Title company or
title company? And the
attorney.
actual attorney,
Yeah.
hey, he said, come swing my way, I can help you out. So I was like, that was good.
That's great. Okay. And so you put the property under contract at 95,000 and you sold it at 124. So how much did you make?
Whew, this is big. It was big. I'm trying to remember the numbers because I've done four more since then. I think it was like, was it 30 something?
Right.
It was like around that much. It was a
Right, because
great deal.
124, so the 24,000 plus 5,000, that's like $29,000
That is correct.
first
Yeah.
deal. Congratulations. So you made 29,000 on your first deal.
Right. Yeah.
Let's go. And I guess with that, did when you got this, I mean, how did you feel? How was it, you
I
know?
felt accomplished and I was ready to go out and make some more. It's like, yeah, let's make it happen.
Okay, okay, got you. And so you closed this deal in November, right?
Mhm.
Okay, and so you got this new money. What did you do with your new first deal? I mean, what did you do with that money?
Okay, yeah. So at this point, I think I started watching you more on the regular, and you started marketing PropStream.
Mm-hmm.
So I got with PropStream and started taking tutorials on there. I was like, wow, this is a pretty cool site, data
Mm-hmm.
site or whatever. And so I started from there, and I started, learning the difference between the different types of lists. Because again, I'm not trying to spend any money that's not, that I don't need to spend. And so I started there.
Okay, okay, awesome. So, okay, so you had that, you closed that in November. So how is your business looking now? I mean, were you able to close a second deal or, are you working on a few deals and different things?
Yes,
Yeah.
I have. So it's just about yes, it's just about consistency. Now
Okay.
there are going to be dry moments
Uh,
where you don't have much activity that's happening, but you don't stop there. So
right.
like I said, I'm trying my hand now in expansion by doing my first virtual deal.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm working at that now.
Okay, got you. And so I guess from November till now, how many deals were you able to close between
Four,
now?
not
Four,
including that one. So altogether five.
altogether five.
Mhm.
Dang, congratulations.
Thank you.
And so I guess five deals and most of those deals were done around your area, right?
That is correct.
Okay. And
Well, two in my area, and then three of them, I went maybe 64 miles outside of my area. Yeah.
wow, okay. So did you have to actually go physically to those places
No,
or
what happened was, so as you can see, my shirt. Uh,
right?
I typically wear this shirt when I go to tax sales,
Mm-hmm.
and then I also market my deals on OfferUp. And so
Mm,
this lady, she hit me up and she was like, "Hey, I live in this part of Georgia. Can you, I need some properties like ASAP. And
Hmm.
so what I did was I found, I just put out like what you call it, pulled the list from PropStream for that
Hmm.
area. And I had like maybe 4 or 5 people hit me back that were interested, and I done the deal, but gave it straight to her, and she paid me assignments from each one of those.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay. All right. And so I guess with the consistency, closing, 5 deals so far, what would you say, what's your main source of marketing now? Are you still doing Driving for Dollars? Is it still like tax sales or PropStream or
No, since the normally with sickle cell patients, we don't do good in the wintertime.
right.
So we in the house all day. So right now I'm SMS all day.
SMS, okay, texting. And is there a particular list that you like to target?
Absentee owner,
Okay.
absentee owner stacked with if they have like delinquent tax, and and if it's a owner occupied, like not owner occupied, but with a tenant inside.
Okay. Okay.
Like that's like 2 heavy motivations right now. So they're not
Right.
paid rent, they out of state, they don't know what's going on with their property, just like the first seller. So that's why
Right.
I actually got to pulling that type of list.
Gotcha. And you pull that from PropStream, right?
That is correct.
Okay. And if you all are interested, link down below to support this channel. But yeah, that's awesome. Okay. And so I guess you pull that, you SMS them, and yeah, I guess you just get deals like that. Do you feel like it's it's more competitive now, or do you feel like it's a like you were saying, there's some dry months or like dry times? What do you think contribute to those dry times,
I
so
would
other people can learn?
definitely say new wholesalers. Everybody is now getting introduced to the business. I think, and then another thing too, I would recommend that everyone that is getting into real estate to really train themselves on this material, because if you're out here giving these homeowners like false hope and false numbers, when somebody that's real, trying to help these people out, you already messed them up, and it's gonna be a harder process to build rapport. That's it, because that's what a lot of these text messages that I'm receiving is like, y'all bother me, y'all call me every day, and da 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 da, giving me these false numbers and these blind offers, and so if you're gonna get
Right.
this business, let's do right. So because every is enough money for all of us, so let's just train ourselves accordingly and then move forward.
Right. Got you. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense because yeah, like a lot of time newbies, it's just, they don't know their numbers or anything and can mess up like the rest of the wholesalers because,
Right.
the interaction the seller may have with one wholesaler may affect,
Exactly.
how they affect, you. But okay, so that's awesome. So closing deals, trying to do it virtually. How far is I guess your radius right now? What markets are you trying to target at the
Okay,
moment?
well, like I said, I'm in the state of Georgia.
Like
So
Atlanta area?
yeah, Atlanta is a huge
Yeah,
market. So
yeah.
I would still target in Atlanta. But however, I'm more so on the outskirts, like if it's 40 or 50 miles, well, just say 35 and out from Atlanta. But you
Okay.
have still have some of those people that just don't want that, that. Oh, just one question about.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. So, okay. So, just to end off, what word of advice you would give to someone who hasn't gotten their first deal yet?
Stay encouraged.
Stay encouraged. Okay.
Stay encouraged and just do it. Stop with your analysis paralysis and just, hey, we all make mistakes.
Mhm.
And the better way to learn is from those mistakes. I mean,
Mhm.
how else are you going to learn and get better? That's just our life. Everything is not going to be perfect. Just go and make it happen.
Just make it happen. Stay
Just make it
encouraged, guys.
happen.
I like that. Okay. And so, um, one more question I have. So let's say looking out, what are your long-term goals with wholesaling? Or real estate in general, what are you looking to accomplish through wholesaling?
Just making a legacy for the ones coming up behind me, my family members, just passing it on. So just
Mm,
being able to break generational curses and make generational wealth. Just make
okay.
it happen.
Make it happen. Got you. All right. So we'll end it off on that. You know, you all stay encouraged. I hope you all were inspired by Carietha's story and how she got her first deal. If you all have any questions, please comment down below and like this video, and I'll talk to you all later.